Okay, so we're live. And let me just put the people in. Hello, everyone. Good to see you all here. We have a lot of people coming in, so I need to let everybody in. Welcome to Piano Tech Radio Hour. Today, I'm Luca. I'll be hosting today, but I'll explain more later in a couple of minutes once everybody joins. Good to see some familiar cases. I was a guest last week, so I know some of you. I've seen some of you. Okay, we have some more people rolling in. Hey. Hello, Jerry. We have a very interesting episode today, an exclusive one. First time for me hosting, and our guest is going to do his first ever live talking. So it must be fun. We may maybe make a couple of mistakes, but that's the beauty of live shows, right? Okay, we're gonna wait a couple more minutes if somebody, okay, here is Pat. Gonna let him in. If somebody else is going to join. Yeah, a couple of more people. Hello, John. Okay, we got a couple of more people too coming in. We got a nice audience today. Good to see you, Robert. So again, my name is Luca, and I'll be hosting today. I'll be your guest host, but I will explain this in a couple of minutes, more about that. Just let's see if somebody else is going to roll in, and then we can start this great episode of today's Piano Tech Radio Hour. Okay, so we have nobody else on a waiting list, so I think we're good to start. Welcome, everyone. Good to see you. Welcome to Piano Tech Radio Hour. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Luka Ivanovic, and I'll be guest hosting for today's special episode of Piano Tech Radio Hour. Together with my brother, Matej, you had him on a show a couple of weeks ago. We run Piano Worldwide, a piano community on social media of 500,000 followers. I come from a small town in Serbia called Pančevo. I'm an actor. I also play a guitar, but I wouldn't call myself a musician because I know all of you are like academics and musicians. So I'm not that brave enough to say that I'm a musician. And also, I'm a content media creator on social medias, and I love music, arts, and movies. Ethan has invited me to try and guest host today, so I hope you will like my hosting, and you can always leave a feedback in your comment. I'll be hosting today and delivering most of the questions, but we can strongly invite you to participate. If you like to speak and you are on the Zoom call, we can bring you on camera, or you can just type questions in the chat and we'll pass them along to the guest. So let's dive in with an intro to the program. Welcome to Piano Tech Radio Hour. We gather every Saturday to meet with and learn from the most fascinating and knowledgeable folks in the piano world, including manufacturers, rebuilders, musicians, makers of their instruments, and of course, piano techs. Our mutual goal is to become better at our craft, to help each other, and to create an ever more musical world together. Piano Tech Radio Hour is brought to you by Piano Technicians Masterclasses, an online learning resource that brings your cutting-edge instructions for piano industry masters without leaving your home. Find out more at www.pianotechniciansmasterclasses.com. So today we have a very special guest. His name is Guillaume Thévenot. And
hello. Hi.
Hello, Guillaume. Okay,
hello.
Let me just find you and pin you here so everybody else can see you. Hello, Guillaume Thévenot.
Hello.
So I will give you a little biography on Guillaume, and then we will play a little video just to show you what this guy is all about. And then we will talk for about an hour with our guest, where he will bring his life to us and his experience from life. So Guillaume Thévenot was born in 1985. He's a French piano technician. In addition, he's holding a degree as a high-level electrician. Working as a freelance, Guillaume offers services for workshops in Europe. So if you're in Europe, you can invite him to be your technician. During his experiences, he had a chance to build several unicorder for Clavins in Hungary. Guillaume also built 2 keyboards in Copenhagen. Guillaume is interested in the engineering behind the instruments, travels a lot, and meets piano technicians masters, learning the different techniques and methodology. Guillaume likes to say that he is a never-ending apprentice, and I very much like this sentence, Guillaume, because I think that is the most important thing we need to do if we are to progress. At the moment, Guillaume is starting to set up local business near Bordeaux with a dream to build his own instruments. So that is something in short about Guillaume. We will let a few people in, and now I will launch a video so you can see what Guillaume is all about. Okay, beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
And tell me, did you write this piece, or is it something that is already written?
No, it's just improvising. Just listening to the instruments.
And the piano you playing on is the piano you like tune a couple of moments before, or?
Yeah, I was, as you see on the video, I was working on the. I think it was on the ivories. They were falling off. So while waiting for the glue to hold, yeah, I was enjoying the instruments. I probably tuned it. I don't remember, of course, but I probably tuned it once and did a very quick regulation. And I probably do a second run up. I did probably a second run afterwards.
Okay, okay. So let me start with the first and maybe the most important question for you. And how did you discover the piano technician craft? So what were your beginnings?
I don't really know what to say to that because well, yeah, I had a piano when I was small. I always had a piano at home, and there were always a piano tuner coming, and so I was curious, observing him working on the instruments. And like many people, when we are young, we don't believe that we can become like one of those person. There has to be very special and gifted. So yeah.
Yeah, but people always, I mean, not always, but in the most cases tend to be like pianists, you know. And I know in my country, and I suppose when you do the like math and on the people, how many people in some countries, there is always a small number of piano technicians. And I guess there is always a small number of good piano technicians. So why did you decide to be a professional piano technician and not a pianist?
Yeah, that's the real question because it's obviously a very long process of traveling and asking myself, what do I really want, while being disappointed of the industry of electricity. I was an electrician in the beginning, and it's a very long process where I met a lot of different people. I went to a lot of different places, and step by step, I really questioned myself. What do I really like? What do I really want, and what I can really bring to the world, um, humbly.
And you grew up in which city? Like that happened when you were how old?
So I grew up in Bordeaux, but what I'm saying here, it's more like at the age of 25, 30 years old, I started to question what I really wanted. So since I'm super young, I play piano, but I never really enjoyed playing concerts or recording an album or stuff like that. So it was really personal, and I couldn't become a like professional musician, and I didn't know what to do with this strange emotion where I love playing, and at the same time I don't want to play too much. I don't know how to explain. And at the end of the day, I know the answer. The answer is I was not playing, I was listening to the instruments.
That's a great answer, actually. Yeah, because
Voila.
you could like decide to be maybe a composer because composer doesn't have to go on the stage and play,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, but I don't have normally when you're an artist, you're supposed to have like a message to give, or you're supposed to have a style and stuff like that. And I realized that I'm not interested in that, and I don't want to fight too much on this direction. And so, yeah, the real answer is it's more like I like to make the instrument sound. And so, very quick, you ask yourself, how does it work and how to make it better.
yeah, nice, nice. And tell
Yeah.
me, did you go maybe to a music school or you're self-taught by ear?
So, to be honest, I went to school a few years when I was super young, but very, very quick I gave up because I didn't enjoy the learning new pieces, and I do not recommend doing that because then I don't know to say in English, but yeah, you learning self-taught doesn't teach you everything. you learn your style, but then you're fixed, you are stuck with it.
Like if you're self-taught, or
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you
Self-taught makes you very good in your craft, in your music, but then you do not learn to be every type of music, and so it's not. I do not recommend. I recommend going to school to learn
yeah,
music
yeah.
on the piano.
I
Yeah,
have that like that example with me and my brother. He's a academic pianist and he can like play everything. I was a punk rock guitarist, and I can only play punk. So so you're
yeah,
totally right, if I can
yeah, yeah.
say. Yeah. And tell us all, what was your first paid job as a piano technician? Like, what is that moment when you like thought, okay, so this can actually also give me money?
So what happens before? What happens is when I was traveling, I was constantly facing this tune piano. And at some point I was fed up, like I can tune a guitar, why I cannot tune a piano? It has to be a way to learn it. And when I became interested into that and thinking I can make a job, I first started to went to a school that teach the job first. So to answer your question, when was my first job? It was in 2017, after my first degree.
Okay, so you passed the like tuning school.
Yeah, basically I took it.
It's a
I was like, I
course.
really want to make my job, and so I'm going to make it the proper way instead of learning and tuning pianos and breaking strings without
Yeah.
understanding what I'm doing. I decided to go directly to a school. There is a school in France that teach you how to tune a piano. I stayed 1 year. I learned the basics, and yeah, and my first job was in England, in Manchester.
Oh, really nice.
Yeah.
And you did what in Manchester? Where?
It's a company called, it's nearby Manchester. It's in Macclesfield. It's the company is called Shackleton. And yeah,
So you
it's
tuned the piano for one company, right? It
yeah,
wasn't like a
yeah,
house.
I was an employee. It was a workshop. I was starting to learn because the school teach you only how to tune and regulate uprights. And there I started to really learn how to rebuild the pianos. That was my first steps and my first job in the same time.
Yeah, nice, nice. And tell me, you said that you travel a lot. So where do you like to go the most? Like, and for what reasons, of course? I probably the music is the one that drives your
Uh,
desire to travel.
when do you talk about? Because I traveled a lot before becoming a piano technician.
Okay,
So
let's talk about this phase when you became a piano technician, like in the last 6 years.
those last years, it's all about people. I talked to a lot of technicians. I don't know, like 1,000 people I'm talking with. We share, but everybody is sharing to which each others. But the difference is me. I'm free to travel. I'm free to move, and I'm free to say hi. So usually I do a trip, like a round trip in Europe, and I'm passing by saying hi to people. And if we connect, then I say, can you, would you like I come back and I stay for 1 month or something like that.
That's great, and it's a great advice for somebody younger who's maybe trying to experience the world, maybe become a pianist or maybe become a technician. That's a good advice. And tell me now one interesting question, like what is your least favorite and the most favorite part of tuning the piano? Like maybe the least favorite can be like a string going kaboom.
Here, the question, it's about tuning. Well, tuning, if in my vision, is it's just one step of the entire regulation. Tuning is one regulation of the piano, and there are many different steps. But yeah, I don't know what I don't like. It's a bit difficult to answer. Some things are sometimes frustrating, but I don't know.
Like what? Like what can be frustrating?
Setting dampers can be sometimes difficult. You put the dampers and doesn't damp. And so
Okay.
you have to work on the felt, and it refuses to damp, and it can be very frustrating
Yeah.
very quick.
I see some of your colleagues are agreeing on that, so we're gonna call it even. Yeah.
Yeah, dampers.
Okay. And the most favorite part, I probably is the whole job.
Well, I really love putting the piano in pieces, fix the pieces, and put it back together. I really love the assembly. I love the stringing. I love working on the soundboard. I love re-gluing and refelting everything.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I love everything.
And have you maybe ever like made some unusual piano, something that is like totally not by PS, you know?
I don't know.
Like, have you
A lot
tried
of
to experiment a little bit, like building something, you know?
experimenting. I did a lot of small experimenting, but I never built yet my own instruments because I never had my own workshop yet. I always travel with my van full of tools to different people, and at the end, I'm hired because those people are usually really overflow with work. So I'm more like giving a lot of help for them. But yeah,
Okay.
I did some experimentation. I put some laser on hammers on the upright. It was very funny sound. I really liked it. Yeah,
Nice,
I don't
nice.
know.
Okay. And tell me, because you travel often and learn from other piano technician masters, what person or advice change your view on this profession the most?
So yeah, I have one big master. I would say there is one guy that who really influenced me very deeply because and his name is Xavier Bontemps, and he's
Can you
living near
repeat that, Xavier?
Xavier Bontemps.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nearby Bordeaux in France. He's and yeah, this guy really teach me not to learn, like not going to learn all the numbers, the measurements, and you have to do this way and this way. It's this kind of guy who teach you how to analyze and understand what's going on. And you want to fix something, well, just understand why is it there and what's the purpose of this thing. What do you want to achieve? And don't do just like a pure copy or repeat what you have been taught. So that's a big new, yeah.
And you met him like at the school where you attended in Bordeaux, or is the
Yeah,
school in
exactly.
the Bordeaux?
No, the school is in Le Mans.
In
The
Le
city
Mans?
is
Okay.
called Le Mans. Yeah, it's a small city in France. It's a school that teach how to tune piano, and then there is a second degree how to rebuild the piano, and also you have to how to you can also learn how to build the guitar, how to fix wind instruments, etc., etc.
So it's
So it's a
basically instrument technicians like school.
absolutely exactly,
Okay,
yeah.
nice, nice.
And you decide, and me, I take piano, and I took the two degrees on the piano.
Great, great,
And
great.
by the first one, so before my first job in England, I did an internship. One it was in Portugal, and one was with this guy.
With Xavier, right?
Yeah, Xavier. And
Okay.
Xavier, there is another thing with Xavier that again teach me something super huge, is that he's not rebuilding pianos, he's restoring pianos. And the difference is massive because in the restoration concept, there is a lot of reversibility. Everything he's doing can be removed, taking out. Well, can be undone. And
Yeah.
it's very important for historical reasons. And uh, so I really love his approach of everything I'm doing can be undone in 50 years. And he has a lot of knowledge, but in the same time, he constantly like asks himself, where are the forces and direction of the grain, for example, of the wood and stuff like that all the time.
Yeah, nice. It's great to have like in whatever you do in life, it's like great to have that one person to that is like a mentor and a master for you that guides you. I know that because in acting you have like a master, and then when you learn something from them, you take this learning and put it on someone else. So it would be nice maybe in a couple of years if you had a student or a pupil like who can like get those learnings from you. Okay, so and tell me, how did you start working with David Clavins? Because he was on the show here on Radio Tech Hour.
Yeah, so I worked for Clavins from 2019 to 2020, so 1 year, and it was back in Hungary when the workshop was in Hungary. It was astonishing. It was a very amazing experience. I have only excellent memories from this experience.
Great.
Yeah. I had he was constantly traveling and dealing with customers. He's extremely busy man. And so I was with the team. We were 3 and 4 people. It depends when. We were building the piano, taking completely in charge the production. And so we were kind of a bit alone. And this feeling of being independent on the production was amazing, because we could like improve the instrument, reverse engineering the instrument. It was a very learning process, interesting process. For
nice. Yeah. So you learned a lot there in Hungary.
I learned a lot, because also that's exactly where it was an opportunity for me to also question absolutely everything, because I'm pretty sure that Clavin said it himself, but the piano industry is very standard, lot of standard, very
like strict.
Yeah, as soon as you change something a little bit, you get a little bit too crazy. Nobody likes it because you change a bit the sound of the piano, and people, the piano is very strict, very very traditional instruments. You cannot like be crazy with the instruments. And Clavin says, I will get crazy if I want to. And he make an instrument with 1 string per note, with a frame is in steel, stainless steel, which is, it's an insult for the piano industry. It's amazing. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, and those are the kind of guys that change the art, like in general, you know, because when somebody goes off the protocol, then it's a little bit close to making an art. So that's a good way. And what is your favorite compositor, like, by the way? Because you probably don't like, I mean, not like, but probably Mozart or something like that is not your favorite one, right?
I don't have a favorite one, but all the era of Ravel and Debussy and all those compositors are very big influence.
It's like a progressive style in a classical music, right?
It's extremely emotional. I don't remember how to say it in English. It's not realism. It's the opposite of realism.
It's
everything is foggy and strange, and you put more into emotion.
So it's impressionism, just piano worldwide.
Exactly.
Impressionism,
so I'm super fan of this kind of of this art style.
Yeah, nice.
In general.
Okay, and I have one question about social media. So do you also see Instagram and social media as a way of getting to new audiences and customers? And what's your experience with social media?
Social media is very the key of my business, because it's all about behind the scene. What do we do on the instruments? And a lot of people are very fascinated about that, because we are as well. and it's my way of chatting with other technicians, meeting them, and at the end of the day we meet up and we work together. So it's central for me.
So you actually find those other people all around the world through the Instagram and Facebook, I suppose?
All the people I met, it's thanks by Instagram. Everybody, absolutely all the people I worked with. I don't know how many people I worked with, maybe 20. I'm not sure.
Maybe 20? Okay, I will right now like put your Instagram link in the chat so everybody can see it. And you can follow Guillaume on www.instagram.com/pianocore. And here we go. If you are interested after this interview. So, okay, I think now we're going to make a little intermezzo and play one of your videos if you don't have anything in mind.
Well, let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Repetition, I want to try.
Beautiful playing, man. Beautiful.
Thank you very much.
And tell me, like, I see this is an improvisation too, if I'm right.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever maybe tried to write down your compositions and maybe?
Yeah, for fun. I also record actually, and I have a SoundCloud, and I posted one piece on Spotify just for the.
Oh, you have a SoundCloud? Can you send us a link? Like, people can.
Yeah, but not now. I'm on my phone.
Okay,
But
okay. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you and send it.
I think it's well, I don't make much communication about that, but whatever, it's fine.
Okay.
I don't want to put too much that in.
Is it your name and surname?
No, it's not.
Okay, then I'm not going to be able to
Don't
find you.
Don't worry.
Okay.
No, but there is something I really want to talk about. It's why do I travel? I think it's extremely important to understand that if you're just you come out of the school and you get hired by a guy in a workshop and then you stay there for 20 years, you will learn his way. And then if someone else suddenly comes to you and say what you're doing is wrong, you cannot accept it because you're like, I do that since 20 years and I have been learned from my master who's doing that since his life and extra. And so I think it's very important to understand to travel and to hear what has to say other people.
So your advice to all the technicians out there would be to like go and meet all the kinds of master technicians, right?
So when I did a travel before, I traveled 5 years, and in 5 years I understand, and I went to every countries of Europe. I was staying a few weeks to a few months of each countries, and the first things you learn is when you start, like you grow up in your small village, you become obviously a racist because you have no idea how it works outside your village, and it's only by traveling around that you understand the point of view, the vision of their point of view. And and it's very interesting because who are you to judge them where they are living? You are in their home, in their culture, and so it's the same with the piano technician. It's the same. There is a lot of approaches on the instrument. There is a lot of regulation, feel, and even the tuning is not that fixed.
Okay.
And another thing is how which product do you use? What is your approach? What is important and what is a little less important? Everybody has his own point of view, and it's very interesting to see everything, to learn everything, to make up your mind after that.
Yeah.
But but yeah, if I teach you my opinion, what is the best, it's out of flavor. It has to understand. You will have to feel the argumentations behind it.
Yeah. So let's say like it's the best would be to take a mix of everything, like and
exactly, and
everything
also,
you like, pick from somewhere else.
Yeah, everywhere I went, there were always something where I disagree with the decisions, but I had at least a good explanation in my head instead of just saying we don't do that here. It's more like, well, I saw the result and I'm not convinced, but at least I saw it. And
Yeah.
and in the opposite, the good part of traveling is as well I also share all the tools and the knowledge that I'm gathering.
Yeah,
And
you can always learn from like someone else's mistakes and from someone else who is like bad in their job. Like you can always learn from anybody.
yeah, you learn what to not become, but really all everybody has one genius idea somewhere, and if you dig up and you find it, it's everybody grow from this experience, so it's
Great.
positive.
Great. That's a great attitude, man. And we have a question. Thank you, Carl Lieberman, for the question. Carl's is interested in, do you attend piano technician conferences?
No, I'm super young in the industry. I'm there since I went to school 2015, I guess. I don't remember, something like that. So yeah, I'm not even 10 years in the field. I'm a student.
Okay, so but did you know about the piano technician conferences or?
No, I don't know any, but I know that every country or most of countries have a association,
Okay, great.
like a guild, and
Yeah.
I know that they are meeting and stuff. So I participate in meetings. I meet a lot of people this way as well.
Yeah, you're actually making your own piano technician conference, like traveling around the world and meeting you guys.
Yeah, and I meet a lot of people and a lot of people meet me. I don't know.
Okay, nice. You're making a guild of your own, like a Europe guild of piano technicians, right?
Well, I'm just one guy among many who are online on Instagram and we share stuff. I'm just I'm part of a community.
Yeah. Okay. And I have a very interesting question for you here. I see William Stewart, you sent us a question. Thank you very much. And I will ask him, but just in a couple of moments. So what was the oldest piano you have worked on?
So I'm not sure, but I don't think I went below 1840.
1840?
I don't think. Yeah, 1840. I don't think I walked below that. So between 1840 and 1860, something like that, in those ages.
If anybody else of the guests has worked on any older piano, you can type in the comments. We will share it and see if you worked on the more old piano than Guillaume.
And again, it was related with Xavier Bontemps, because again, Xavier is very historical instrument, very old. So again, he has 5 piano to rebuild, and he gave me like 2 piano to rebuild, and we work together, and that's how I had the chance.
And you work on that piano in Portugal?
No, this one is Bordeaux. Portugal was another guy.
Okay. And tell me, what is the most expensive one you worked on?
Oh, probably a Steinway B or something like that.
Yeah, you have like when you take the expensive piano, like piano can be crazy expensive. You have like a little bit of pressure because of the price, that if you can maybe.
No, because you also the price is related with the quality, and you do your best quality. No, I'm not stressed with the price at all.
Okay.
No, but very expensive instruments, usually high end, are usually also extremely interesting. You can really push yourself, push your limits, and do fine tuning, fine regulation. It's a very interesting job. Well,
Okay.
yeah, the stress could be for moving. You have to move it. It costs like the price of a house,
Yeah, I know.
and you don't want to make a scratch on it. Okay, here, yes, that's the real stress is there. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And here's the question from William Stewart. So he says, friends, some great technicians. Have you maybe met Stefan Pauliello? If
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. Stefan Polello. Yeah, I met him 2 times. He's obviously one of those genius out there who are exactly like Clavins, who question the entire industry of the piano. All the piano are made the same way with a cast iron frame with the same number of notes, same number of strings, and you have a little bit changing here and there, but it's all about quality and very standardized, very traditional. So Clavins and Polello and Stuart in Austria and all those people bring new ideas and question it. For example, the pressure of the strings on the soundboard. Every instrument have a pressure with ribs under it to maintain everything. And well, Clavin says, let's glue 2 tables with cross grain from my soundboard, and Polello say, well, let's make it this way, and the string pulls the soundboard towards up with agraphs on the bridge, for example, and that's just one among many. So of course there is a lot of big names, Schimmel, Büttner, who made very weird instruments, Bechstein with Neo Bechstein, but it was just for fun, and they doesn't really communicate too much on that. When you look on instruments, at the end of the day, it's just like the look will change, like weird colors or transparent, but inside it's always the same instrument.
Yeah. Okay, nice. I want to bring something up because I knew you've been in our neighboring country besides Serbia, it's Croatia. I never asked you, have you been to Serbia?
Yeah, of course, of course.
Okay, okay. So, but we have some pictures from Atelier Pavlinic, like, and I wanna show those to our guests so they can see, and maybe somebody get a desire to go there because it's beautiful. Croatia is also beautiful, so they can see all the stuff. So can you like walk us through what we see here?
So it's not my picture. It's Zlatko Plavinic also built harpsichords.
Oh,
and so that's him building, cutting keys of an harpsichord and gluing key tops.
yeah, here we see it. Yeah, nice. And
yeah,
this is him.
So yeah, it's him, and he has, yeah, as you see, he has a lot of humor, and he's an amazing tactician, one of the best. Again, very incredible guy.
Great, they're assembling it here. Okay.
Yeah, that's his best friend. He's a woodworker, and that's a city in Croatia.
Yeah, and that's Dubrovnik,
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is Steven Sons. Okay, you played some. They played somewhere, or it's just like their recording place.
I think it's a summer picture, and Zlatko is tuning a lot of festival.
Okay, okay. And here we.
Yeah, and that's one of his employee just before, and we worked together, and it was a very cool
Nice.
guy, very full of knowledge.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the team.
That's the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Want to show you that to you guys. And okay, so your dream is to build your own pianos, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
Are you more fond of like traditional instruments, or do you like experimenting? Like you said that you like to, let's say, to break the rules, right? But you can't break much rules. And using some modern tools to improve the instruments. Have you ever done that?
Yeah. I have a lot of ideas, I'm alone, and so I'm not a genius like Clavins or Polello. So they are faster than me. It will take me 50 years, but I am having fun by just simply learning how do you do a string scale, or how works the soundboard exactly, and how works the hammer as well. And actually, nobody really knows. There is a lot of unknown and a lot of just practicing, just do and see what you can try to improve. And so I'm on this step where I'm just simply learning and experimenting and and having fun. One of the experiments, for example, is changing the strings by different diameters to understand the behavior with the sound and different type of strings, etc.
Okay, nice. Yeah. So I also know that you work in 3D modeling.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting thing. Like, can you tell us about your work in 3D modeling and in what way is it beneficial for your work? And I would like to put one video up for our guests because it's a sketch of 3D modeling you've done, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
And it would be great if you can explain us what we are seeing. Let me just give me a sec. Okay, so here, this video you posted on Instagram too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what can we see here?
So I want to stay really humble and about my drawing. I'm just like experimenting and having fun. There is no like I don't have pretensions to revolution the industry. But on this video, it's very simply I wanted to reproduce one stand of the action of an upright.
And you worked on it for 4 hours.
Yeah, it's funny. It's also a kind of an exercise for myself. I wanted to see if I'm able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very nice looking, and I suppose that benefit your work as a technician, right?
Here, in this case, it's like a practicing. I wanted I wanted to practice to draw something on the computer and to practice being able to very easily create different forms, etc. And of course, related with piano. And once you start to learn that, then you can say, okay, now I did it, then can I improve it? Can I change it? Can I change the shape, etc.
Yeah, but, what's the software you're using here? Like,
here it's SolidWorks.
Sorry?
SolidWorks.
SolidWorks. Okay.
Yeah,
nice.
That's the name of the. Well,
nice.
Very powerful. Yeah.
So SolidWorks or SolidBox? We have like
Works.
Okay. So SolidWorks. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So everybody can check. Is it a free source or is it?
No. You have to pay a license. Yeah.
Okay. It's
actually very expensive, but very powerful. So
yeah,
because then you can make you can make simulation as well. I draw frames as well, and you can see how it squeezes with the tension.
Nice.
For Clavins, I did a few drawing where we could see the behavior of these frames.
Yeah, nice. And here is a question from William Stewart concerning the 3D modeling. It says, "Are you using 3D printing?"
Yeah, I would love to. It's my dream. As you said in the beginning, I'm setting up my own workshop, and my dream is to have a really laser cut CNC machine, 3D prints, and to start experimenting on different projects. So I do not have yet, but it's I have the money.
Yeah. Okay. And we have one more question. Then we're going to put the video once again, and we will go through the fast Q&A from our social media Piano Worldwide. You got couple of questions from our fans there. So first, let me tell you, what methods of learning the piano technician craft would you recommend to starters? Like, is that go anywhere in the world you like choose a cool place with a beach, or maybe choose a cold country and learn everything you can there, or what?
So you ask me how to learn the job?
So what if I was somebody who would like to start learning the piano technician craft, what would you recommend me? Like, I don't know anything about the pianos.
Yeah, well, the very first step, every technicians. So there is a lot of different type of technicians. You have people who work on in workshop, but everybody knows how to tune a piano. So the first step is learning to tune a piano, and I recommend to go to a shop, piano shop. They have 50 piano for sale. They are get out of tune all the time, and so you go there and you offer your services. Uh, of course, because you're not going to tune very well, you do it for free, and it's not
Of
going to
course.
be very good. Basically, I'm saying internship. Yeah, get an internship in a shop, and yeah, tune 1,000 piano, which sounds like huge, but yeah, one day eventually you will make it, and after 1,000, you're a bit better than before, and so you're ready to make money and extra,
Yeah.
etc.
Nice.
But
Okay.
yeah, so it's exactly the same with learning how do you imagine you want to become a piano teacher. How do you be a piano teacher? Well, first learn how to play piano and go to school, basically.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that answer. So if anybody is interested, you got your answer. We're going to play another video, and then we're going to come back and say a few more questions. If anybody of you have any questions, you can put them in the comments, or let us know through the microphone you want to ask something, Guillaume. So yeah, let me just share the screen for you guys and put the last video.
Can I say something?
Of course, of course.
Sorry, to cut you. No, because this video is interesting. I play as fast as possible, and the quality of the sound is not very great. It's from my phone and gets crushed on Instagram. But what is very interesting phenomenon with the hammers and the felt of the hammers is the more you hit the string, the felt gets harder temporarily. It's called the hysteresis phenomenon, and it's fascinating because you can influence the sound simply because how fast you play the same note the same way.
Nice, interesting, very interesting.
Yes, it's very interesting how to hammer behave, and you see how complex it can be.
Yeah, nice, and a beautiful technique, like on the right hand, and I would really much like from you to like release your compositions whenever you have a chance, whenever you have like a, because this is worth listening to. I hope everybody agrees with me. And we have one question from Moshe Porat. He says like, have you read the book written by Claude Montal, 1800 born piano technician who became blind at the age of 6? It was translated to English a few years ago.
Okay, no, I never heard about this book. That sounds amazing.
Okay, so yeah, it sounds amazing,
Okay.
really. So
I
this
would
is a
have a
good
look.
recommendation. This is a good
Okay, cool.
recommendation for you and for everybody else who didn't read the book.
Yeah.
So
Thank you very much.
1800 born piano technician. It's the name of the book, right, Moshe? So yeah, now we have a couple of questions from our fans from the Piano Worldwide community. And on one question, I see you've already gave an answer, and that is like, how can I learn to tune my piano? Herrera's written this question.
So obviously it's very difficult to tune a piano out of nothing, because I realize very quick that tuning a piano is not about turning the pins, but it's all about understanding the energy of all along the string. The example I used to give to customers is when you have a chewing gum and you expand it out of your mouth like this, you can feel that the tension is not the same all along the string. And it's the same on the string. The elasticity and doesn't spread equally throughout the different crystals of the steel. And so it's all about spreading the tension equally along the strings, and also making sure that when you tune the pins, you also set the pins, because the pins is a bit like elastic as well. While it's very strongly inside the pin block, the pins has some movement and elasticity, so it doesn't change anything to move this part. It's the inside that has to be very well set. The answer is start with unisons, and if you make a good unison, then you are able to start learning how to tune a piano, equal temperament and spreading the octaves.
Okay, and here is a question by Rodriguez saying, what should I watch out for when buying used piano? This is an interesting one.
Yeah, it's a very interesting one, because the first thing that is a big no is if the frame is cracked. We believe it's not common, but I see it sometimes. People, customers call me and saying, tune my piano. I come and I see a crack in the frame. Personally, I have no idea how to fix a crack. I don't know how to do that, but it sounds like impossible. Or I just don't know how to do that. So cracks, crack a frame is dead piano to me. Then if you see cracks on the bridge at the pins, that's a very expensive fix, and loose pins in the pin block, extremely expensive fix. And then cracks in the soundboard is less important, but it's also shown that the instrument has been exposed to high, very dry area.
Okay. And we have
just to cut. Sorry, to cut you. Basically, first question is if it's very, very out of tune. That's not a sign of a good hair at the first. But it doesn't mean it's a dead instrument. I'm just saying that, well, first of all, nobody took care of it since a while. So already, I hope it's a cheap one.
Okay. And here is the last question we have for today. It's a funny one. Like, does piano technicians tune pianos by ear, or they use tuners?
It depends the area of the world. In USA, I believe they use digital tuners. Here in France, we all learn by ears, so we tune by ears. I use sometimes an app as well, which is 800, 1,000 euros. It's very expensive because it takes in account all the harmonics. Because some instruments are extremely bad. Some Chinese instruments are awful. You select only one string and you hear 3 notes. You have no idea what's going on. And if you stretch 2 strings to make a unison, you hear beats coming to zero. That's called unison. But you will hear another beat getting stretched, like adding up. You're like, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Funny. Those were the questions by our good fans from the Piano Worldwide community. Also, Kathy says, I love your improvisation. There is an obvious yet subtle melody line, very inspiring. So, man, I'm telling you, you need to release your compositions out there, at least on the SoundCloud, if that's possible. So we will all be thankful. And yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we reached the end of another musical journey here at Piano Tech Radio Hour. Thanks to Guillaume for joining us today. For me, it was a big pleasure interviewing you, and I hope all of you had a nice time. Did you have a good time?
Yeah, of course. I'm very glad that I could share some of yeah.
Great. Thanks, Doug. Great. Doug says great job. Thank both of you guys. Okay,
Yeah.
so as always, we're brought to you by Piano Technicians Masterclasses, cutting edge instruction from piano industry masters without leaving your home. For those of you that join us today by signing up for the session individually, you can make your life more convenient by subscribing for Piano Tech Radio Hour at just $16 a month. You'll get the recordings of today's session in our member area, as well as automatic registration for each week's new session. And you can sign up at the link I just gave you, but I'm going to send it anyway. It's bit.ly/joinptrh. So yeah, thank you all for being here and participating in this amazing interview I had with Guillaume. Guillaume, once again, thank you for joining us. And it was a great pleasure listening to your music and hearing your experiences. We will all see you again next week. Bye, guys.